It was a great rivalry. It really was. And I just remember being a part of that rivalry, and every year the excitement just amongst the players, amongst the coaches, and knowing it was a big game. And when I was a young player, being able to see that rivalry between Tom and Peyton was pretty cool. And then also getting a chance to experience that and be part of that rivalry when I stepped in and got to play there back in 2008, it was pretty cool then too. So that was really what I remember and take away from it.
Did those games always have a playoff feel, even when they weren't in the playoffs?
Oh, absolutely. It was rocking. The stadium was always very excited and fired up. I remember going into the Colts Stadium, a lot of guys had to put in earplugs because it was so loud. So it always had that playoff atmosphere, and it was always an exciting game to be a part of.
What does this game feel like to you?
Well, it's a big game. I think it's a big game for us. This will be a game that really challenges us, and this team's up for the challenge. I know that, and we're working hard, and we'll see where we're at.
Do you see it as a take stock of where we are game?
Well, I think every week we do, and this is just the next big game on the schedule for us. And the Colts have been a great team for a long time, and they've got a lot of great players, led by one of the all-time great quarterbacks. So for us, it's going to be a great challenge, and these guys are excited about it. I'm excited about it, and we'll be ready to go come Sunday.
What improvement have you seen out of Dwayne, not just as a pass catcher, but as a blocker? It seems like his blocking has kind of elevated the rest of his game a little bit this year.
Right. Well, Dwayne's come in. He's worked tremendously hard this year, and you can probably see it just in his physical look, and what he brings. And you go out there and you look at him, and he's quick, he's fast, he's running around, but at the same time, he's given effort on every single play. And you see him in blocking plays, and he's done everything that the coaches have asked of him. And I'm excited about Dwayne, and I'm excited about him continuing to grow and make progress with the rest of us.
For the receivers you've worked with over the course of your career, regardless of level, are receivers reluctant to block generally? I mean, is that something they just got to say, well, I guess I got to do it? So it's obviously not the most fun thing to do as a receiver, but have you seen that, I guess?
I don't know. I guess some receivers are maybe a little bit more reluctant than others, but at the same time, I know that a lot of the good ones, they go in there and they put their nose in there and they get after it.
This is the first 4-3 defense basically you guys have faced this year.
Right.
What kind of a challenge is it nowadays, considering that's now the oddity almost in the NFL facing?
Right. That's a good question. I think that when you're facing a 4-3 team, especially a team like Indianapolis, you really have to take into account those two edge rushers, with Freeney and Mathis. They're both explosive players. They're great off the edge, and there's always somebody that you have to account for when you're throwing the ball. And so for us as an offensive unit, I think it's staying out of long distances, long passing yard situations where they can pin their ear back and come and just create situations where we're in manageable third down situations and second down situations.
Do they leave Freeney and Mathis in one spot, or are they moved around?
Well, they do a little bit of the moving around from what I've seen on film, but at the same time, for most of the game, they're predominantly on the left and on the right.
In your time in New England, how many times were you Peyton Manning?
Oh, for 3 out of the 4 years I was there. And it's a lot of fun because there's a lot of gimmicks going on out there. But he's a great player, and it's always fun to watch him on film and see him. And when I remember being a young quarterback trying to emulate him.
Do you feel your level of play escalate when you play a player like that? You're going against a guy like that?
Well, it should, and you try to get yourself up for the challenge. There's no doubt about that, because you're going against one of the best, and it's always to play against the best. You got to embrace that challenge, because that's what we're all here for, is to play against the best.
Is it hard to not watch him during the game?
Is it hard not to?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, I like to watch other people's offense, but at the same time, a lot of times during the game, you come over as an offense and you start making adjustments, and you try to get with those guys, your receivers, your linemen, and start saying, hey, this is what we're going to do the next series. So you're kind of concentrated on that and making your adjustments, so it's kind of hard to watch the other offense.
As a quarterback, what can quarterbacks learn from watching Peyton?
Well, I just think the main thing that I always take away is his consistency. Week in and week out, he's consistent. He knows where he wants to go with the ball. He makes good decisions, and he's accurate. And he wins. And that's that's all you can ask for as a quarterback.
Matt, there's some thought this team's a little more vulnerable, per se, than they have been in the past couple of years. Do you see chinks in the armor on defense when you analyze and look at the tape?
Well, I think that they're a good team, and I think the one thing that we can't do is get behind and be trying to play a catch-up game. We have to be able to control the ball offensively. We have to play a balanced game, and it's going to take all the defense, the offense, and special teams to play together because this is a good team, and they're playing at home, and they're historically have been very good at home.
To a fan and to the untrained eye, it seems like Hayden's out there doing all these different things with his arms and calling out signals. As a quarterback, do you kind of understand the language he's saying and what he's doing when he's out there?
Well, I don't because I don't know that offense too much, but I'm sure he's making a lot of checks and getting his guys in the right spot and making sure he's with the play that they want to be in.
Their secondary's really banged up. As a quarterback, do you take note of something like that and come up with maybe more of a game plan to attack when you know that they're on the second or third string safety or whatever?
Well, I think you always have to know what personnel is going to be in the game, and I know Bullitt unfortunately went down with a season-ending injury, and that's tough on anybody. And so we don't really know who's going to be stepping in for him at the safety position, but I definitely think that the coaches take that into consideration of understanding who's going to be in the ball game and go from there in terms of a game plan.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.